Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my 2017-2018 NFC Championship preview, which of course pits the Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles. First off, kudos to the Minnesota Vikings for the miraculous comeback at the end, the outstanding catch by Stefon Diggs. I know a lot of people are honing in on the what they're looking at as an abysmal defensive effort on that final play of that game by the Saints, but I mean, I give credit to Diggs as well. That was a nearly acrobatic catch. He did all, I mean, it was a fantastic job of him maintaining his balance and not falling down and scampering into the end zone for a 61-yard touchdown reception. I believe that was the first time in NFL history, postseason history, that a game ended on a game-winning touchdown pass. I give a lot of credit to him as well for being able to do that and under duress, doing that in the magnitude of that game. Anyway, I want to say too, and then kudos to the Eagles as well, because a lot of people did not give really Eagles much hope in that last game. I sure didn't. I actually give them more hope in this game. Their defense, I mean, has really been relentless as of late. This run defense, of course, many of you may know, they were number one in the regular season. They only gave up about 79 rushing yards per game. And the defense, as I stated before, it's really been great as of late. They were not bad at all during the regular season overall. Overall in the regular season, they were number 4 in scoring and total defense. In the regular season, they had given up 18.4 points per game. But what I think a lot of people overlooking, over the last 3 games, the Eagles have actually given up only 20 points total. That's not even 7 points per game. I think this game will be closer, at least than a lot of people think. I do like the Minnesota Vikings to win. I think it's one of those preordained destiny things. I think they're just meant to win this game and go to the Super Bowl. But I would not be shocked or be flabbergasted or be in a state of shock if the Eagles pull this out somehow. The Eagles, I think the key in this game for the Vikings, you look at the Vikings, okay, they were number 11 in passing offense in the NFL this season. Now, if the Philadelphia Eagles have any Achilles heel or weakness, it's their pass defense, number 17, which is kind of mediocre, but I think it can be exploited in this game. I think that is going to be the key for Minnesota to get a victory. I mean, Eagles were really counting the postseason 8-1 at home this postseason. I think that one loss was to Dallas 6-0, and they rested a number of their starters in that game. Otherwise, they may very well have been undefeated at home this season. Overall, you'd be looking at 9-0 at home. So that this near invincibility gives the Eagles a little bit of an edge, near invincibility at home. I mean, and then you look at the Vikings, still very good road team, 6-2. On the road. And I talked about the pass defense perhaps being exploited in this game as far as the Eagles' pass defense goes. The Minnesota Vikings, Casey Keenum completed nearly 68% of his passes this season, really throwing with a lot of precision. I think he's really unheralded. I think a lot of people, there's people that are saying, the analysts, and that some of them saying, well, he's okay or whatever, but it's a little more than okay when you complete nearly 68% of your passes. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings, they just threw 8 interceptions this season. I give all the kudos to Casey Keenum and these Vikings. They have done a tremendous job this season. The thing too is another thing which really gives the Eagles more hope than I think a lot of people look at. I mean, keep in mind, Minnesota is just 1-7 in their last 8 games at Philadelphia, including last season when they lost to them 21-10. And that last touchdown the one touchdown that Minnesota even got in that game did not even come till almost at the end of the game. So, I mean, really, I think Vikings really need to be careful not to overlook this and be thinking of the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to become complacent. That's part of another reason why I think they're going to win this game. You look at this too. with the receivers, Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs are no joke. I think they both got a very good breakaway speed, very capable of getting a lot of yardage after the catch. Are going to be very lethal and dangerous. I think that's where it's going to come down to this game. It's going to be the receivers. And against the secondary, the run defense is great for Philadelphia, but the rushing offense is very good for the Vikings. Vikings number 7 rushing offense this season. The Eagles were number 1. And again, these two teams in the regular season were ranked 1 and 2 in time of possession. Eagles were number 1, Vikings number 2. However, in the last 3 games, the Vikings have done much better than the Eagles in time of possession. I think the Vikings are going to win this time of possession battle. I do see them winning this game. And also the Eagles offense has struggled recently. The Eagles have only put up 40 points in the last 3 games. Vikings have scored 68 in that same span. I just think what it's going to come down to is you look at the Vikings and Eagles on the defensive end are both great. These are both really outstanding, stellar defenses right now. But I just like the Vikings offense just a little bit better in this particular game, and that is the main reason I'm going to go with them to win this one. The Eagles secondary, they're very good. 19 interceptions on the season. They might have not had the best scoring or total defense in the NFL this season, but they were one of the better teams as far as their playmaking with those interceptions. The secondary is outstanding. This should be a very close game. Would not be surprised if it comes down to the final possession, some team making maybe a great defensive stop at the end, or somebody driving on the other team that's got a tired defense. I think it is something. I think it is going. This will be a really. I think it's going to be one of the better NFC or AFC championship games we've seen in some time. Actually, I think it's going to come down to the very end. But I do like the Vikings mainly because, as I stated before, the receivers against the secondary and the pass defense of the Vikings. Philadelphia's got their swagger. This has been a great season for them. I do think it's going to come to an end in this game, though. I think Vikings are just on a magical run. They're 12-1 in their last 13 games overall. The only loss they had was to Carolina. I believe that was on the road. That could have gone either way. They lost by like 7 points. I mean, they could have very easily been undefeated in that stretch. I think they continue their streak and win this game. I do like the Vikings to win this one in a tight game on the road against the Eagles. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my preview of the 2017-2018 NFC Championship game. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.